Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm bringing you a fun matchup between Mark and Jordan from my local One Piece community. Mark is playing Kozuki Oden and Jordan is playing the starter deck red Luffy leader card. So this is the second booster box tournament that we had, and the rules are we each split a booster box, and if you beat your opponent you get to take one of their packs. So at the end of the tournament, the more wins that you have, the more packs that you'll have to open up. And Jordan actually loses the game here because he draws a card when he's going first. No, just kidding. He did forget that, but it didn't matter because he was searching with the Nami anyway. So it didn't matter that he knew what the top card was. He put it back. And he grabs the 5-cost Luffy off of the Nami search and passes turn to Mark. So the Kozuki Oden leader is pretty interesting. Activate main once per turn. You can trash one land of Wano type card from your hand and set 2 of your Dawn cards as active. He displays the blocker killer for 2 Dawn and passes turn. Jordan's going to start this turn off by just swinging 6k into Mark, and Mark takes the damage. And he just passes turn, leaving 2 Dawn up. So he's signaling that he could possibly have the Red Hawk counter event here. Luffy's ability, activate main once per turn. Give this leader or one of your characters 1 rested Dawn card. So it's a pretty interesting matchup. Both of these leaders are very Dawn efficient. Mark just swings 5k to Jordan's lead, and Jordan takes the damage. And for 3 Dawn, Mark plays down the Raizo. Raizo, when attacking, if there are 2 rested characters on your side of the board, you get to draw a card. So he does include himself in that. And Mark actually uses the Oden leader ability by trashing the Denjiro, setting 2 Dawn active, and he's able to play down the 3-cost 5k vanilla Shinobu. So this is a really strong board here on turn 2, and that shows off the power of the Kozuki Oden leader ability. Both of these players showed out at Peoria Regionals, and they were both featured on stream. And Mark was playing Doflamingo. He actually started the tournament out 6-0, and he finished 6-3, but he did win his match on stream. And Jordan played Kaido, and he also finished 6-3, so I just wanted to give these guys some recognition for strong performances at Regionals. Jordan played down a second Nami there, and he grabbed the Nico Robin, and here comes a third Nami. And you can see Mark is trash talking there. This was actually a very entertaining match to watch because both of these players brought some quality trash talk to the table. So I'll try to fill you guys in as best as I can on what was being said. But the third Nami, Jordan grabs the 2k counter Usopp. And he attaches the Dawn and uses leader ability, swinging 7 into Mark. And he takes this damage. So with that, Jordan passes turn, and Mark is now up to 6 Dawn. He starts off by swinging 5k with Shinobu, and this is the trash talk I was talking about. Jordan was coughing and had to get a drink of water, and Mark commented on him choking, and then Jordan comes back with, nope, you choked. And then he plays the Gum Gum Red Hawk to get rid of the Raizo. So what Mark should have done was put a Dawn under the Raizo so that it wouldn't get KO'd by a Red Hawk. And now he's going on full tilt here as he creates a second trash pile for his Raizo. But he swings 5k with lead, and Jordan takes the damage. Mark plays down the Momonosuke for 1 and uses its ability to search the top 5 for a Land of Wano card and put it into his hand. He grabs the Izo. Now he declares leader ability, trashing a Dendro and putting 2 Dawn to active. And then he does play down a Denjiro, and he finally realizes that he put the Raizo in a second trash pile just floating around there. And he passes turn. So he might be saving that Dawn for a Paradise Waterfall. Otherwise he could have put it under the killer so that if it gets KO'd he gets to draw a card. Jordan swings with Nami into the Momonosuke. And for 3 Dawn he plays the Nico Robin. Using leader ability and swing 6k to lead, and Mark counters out with the Izo. And then for 2 Dawn, Jordan plays the Bartolomeo blocker, and he leaves 2 Dawn active, so once again he has the threat of the Gum Gum Red Hawk counter event. Still a strong board here for Mark, and we are tied at 3 life here. So because of the threat of the Red Hawk, he just decides to swing with the killer into the Nami. There's also the threat of the Nico Robin, who Dawn ×1 when attacking, gets rid of a 3000 power in play. Mark swinging 5k with lead, and Jordan counters out with a 2k counter Usopp. Mark going another 5k to lead with Shinobu, and once again Jordan counters out with the 2k counter Usopp. And Mark swings 7k this time with Denjiro. And it looks like, yeah, we do see the second Red Hawk getting rid of the killer. So Mark actually just passed his turn here and he leaves all of his Dawn up, so that is not ideal. I did talk to him about this play and he said that he miscounted his Dawn and he wasn't able to make the plays that he wanted to. So Jordan pointing out that he did that on stream, and then Mark did tell me that he didn't want me to use this one, but he was just joking, he didn't mind. We do see the 9-drop Edward Newgate from Jordan here, and it makes Luffy a 7k until the start of his next turn, and then he uses leader ability to attach a Dawn and swings 8k to lead, and Mark using the Punk Gibson, giving Kozuki Oden plus 4000 power, making him a 9k to cover that attack. And also Punk Gibson rests a 4 cost or less, so he's able to rest the Bartolomeo blocker. So we'll see what Mark does. He has to swing at least 7k to take any life from Jordan here. And Mark just swings 5k into the Bartolomeo with Shinobu just to get rid of that. And then he goes 9k into lead, so swinging 2 over there. And Jordan does take the damage. We're going to see another 9k from Mark here into Jordan's leader. And Jordan once again takes the damage. And then we see another Shinobu come down from Mark here, and he passes turn. And I could kind of see Jordan's hand there. He did get a jet pistol off life there, but chose not to trigger it. He could have got rid of the rested Shinobu at the time, but keeping it in hand, he probably figured that Mark was going to play another character that he might want to get rid of. So keeping the jet pistol and not triggering it allows him to attack into Mark's board and possibly clearing all of it. So he does swing 7k into the Shinobu and gets rid of that. And yeah, there he goes. He uses the pistol on the active Shinobu. That way he can just get rid of everything here. So actually pretty good choice there by Jordan to not trigger the pistol. We see Luffy ability and a manual Dawn attachment to the Edward Newgate, swinging 12k into the Denjiro. So he's able to clear Mark's entire board there. So Jordan, even though he's down to 1 life, is definitely in a good spot here. And he plays down another blocker, Bartolomeo, for 2. And there's no reason for him not to just swing 5k with the Nico Robin here. She doesn't get to pop anything from the board, but adding the Dawn gives Nico Robin the necessary attack power to be able to swing into lead. And Mark does take the damage here, and Jordan passes turn. So like I said, that was just a huge play for Jordan to not trigger the pistol, because he was able to clear Mark's entire board, and now he has 5 characters on board and Mark has 0. So Mark decides to search with the Momonosuke to start his turn. And he grabs the 4-cost Yamato. The 4-cost Yamato on play gets to rest a 6-cost or less. So he is choosing to play that Yamato down. And Jordan assumed that he was going to rest the blocker. There's really no other good option to rest. The Namis aren't really doing too much here. Mark attaches Dudon to his leader. And he does decide to swing just 7k into lead. And Jordan counters out and passes turn. We're going to see a 6k swing from Nico Robin into Mark's lead. And she gets to pop the Momonosuke with her ability. Mark counters out with Izo for 2k. And we do see another jet pistol from Jordan, so those jet pistols are just putting in so much work here. And that's why Luffy is actually really strong right now. In my opinion, it is the best red leader for removal, and that's the advantage that it has over something like Zoro. We see a big swing here from Jordan's Edward Newgate, 12k into lead, and Mark is definitely going to take that. And Jordan passes turn here. He actually decides not to attack with his Luffy leader card here, and Mark was saying he was scared, which is true, I guess, because Jordan said that he didn't want to trigger a potential Punk Gibson to rest his blocker, so just playing it safe here. So we do see the 8-cost Eustace Kid come down from Mark, and he has 2 abilities. Mark decides to use the ability Activate Main once per turn. You may rest this character and play 1 character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand, so he decides to play the Momonosuke there and search with it. Eustace Kid's other ability, Dawn ×1. If this character is rested, your opponent cannot attack anything other than Captain Eustace Kid, so it's just a really powerful card for redirecting attacks. Mark does grab the Shinobu there with the Momonosuke. And he does put that Dawn under the Eustace Kid so that the ability will activate. And Mark just goes 5k into the Nico Robin, and Jordan counters out with the Otama. We do see Mark using Oden's ability, trashing that Shinobu and setting 2 Dawn active, so he is threatening the Punk Gibson again. With no blockers in play though, it's hard for me to imagine Jordan not being able to get around this Eustace Kid. Oh, Jordan doing it dirty. He shows the camera that he has the Round Table. Round Table is an underrated card in my opinion. It gives one of your opponent's characters minus 10,000 power, so that Eustace Kid is pretty useless. After that, Nico Robin just going to attack 5k to his kid, and it does get rid of the Eustace Kid since it's down to negative 2k power, so Nico Robin able to pop that. And Jordan just swinging into the Momonosuke with the Nami. And I think we see 9k to lead from Luffy. And Mark does take the damage. And then we see a 10k swing. Well, Jordan deciding to actually use Luffy's ability there, making it an 11k swing. And then Mark uses the Punk Gibson and the 2k counter chopper, so he's only able to counter out 11k. And Jordan gets the win. But even with the loss, I think that was still a pretty good showcase for Kozuki Oden there, because Mark did manage to get Jordan's Luffy down to 1 life despite a lot of misplays, which are very uncharacteristic of Mark. He's actually a really good player. They both are. And yeah, I do think that Luffy is one of the stronger decks in the format right now. So Kozuki Oden, maybe a little bit underrated. It definitely held its own, and if maybe some things would have went differently, maybe Mark could have taken this match too. But yeah, the turn where Jordan was just able to clear Mark's entire board by holding on to the jet pistol, I think that was definitely the key moment of the match. It really swung the momentum in his favor, even though he went down on life. But yeah, a lot of friendly banter in this matchup, and it's always fun when these two get together. They're a funny group of guys, and I love hanging out with them. They're both really good players too. Like I said, they did a really good job at Peoria Regionals, holding it down for our local community. But yeah, that does it for this one. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the gameplay. I do have several other live gameplay videos to upload from the Booster Box tournament, so look forward to that, and consider subscribing for more One Piece card game content, and I'll see you all in the next one.